Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Hopefully everybody's getting ready for a fantastic weekend and getting ready for one final Bears game as they will take on the Detroit Lions. I got a triple dose of good news, starting with Rome Odunze. He is listed as questionable after he practiced on Friday in a limited fashion. And I'm not saying this is great news for this game. I'm saying it's great news because I think there's a pretty good chance he's going to play in the playoffs next week, which has been kind of the target since the setback in warmups at Lambeau Field. Remember, he had missed the one game, but then he was going to play in that Week 14 game in Green Bay, and then he re-aggravated his foot at Lambeau Field. And so I don't think he's going to play in this game on Sunday against the Lions. I don't really think he should. Now, he did say after practice, like, hey, if I get the green light, I'm ready to go. I want to be out there. Like, I'm not going to rest just to rest. But I do think there's got to be a level of just common sense here. If you're the Bears, like, even if he's cleared, like, okay, go through an intense workout and before the game. You don't need to play in this game. Like, I understand it. You probably want to be out there for your teammates. You'd like to get that chemistry going again with Caleb Williams, but is it worth going out there and playing 20, 25 snaps? If it was week 16, week 17, I'd say sure. If you still had like a ton at stake, like if it was win or go home, like yeah, different deal, but you're in a pretty good position. I don't think you need Rome Odunze to win this football game, but you could need him in the playoffs, and that starts next week. So don't make the mistake you did at Lambeau Field where he was limited all week, and then they played him, and he clearly wasn't ready, re-aggravated his foot. Don't play him. Work him out before the game, and then next week ramp him up and get him ready for that playoff game at Soldier Field, because that is when things are really going to count. All right, a lot more to get to here in just a second, but if you want to support the program, support me, Chicago Bears Now. It's a new year, but our content's going to keep rolling. We're not stopping anytime soon. Whether I'm in the office or whether I'm at home, we're going to bring you videos every single day. When news drops like we had plenty drop today, we're hitting you with the video, so stay tuned, subscribe. We're chasing 150,000 subscribers. Join the 148,000 strong. Okay, Luther Burden, he is good to go. He does not have an injury designation for this game. He practiced in full yesterday and today, so that quad issue that he suffered at the end of that 49ers game, probably just a minor bone bruise, something like that. So he's good. The rookie receiver is going to play, and he should play. I think if you're full go, then play. Obviously, you need some guys out there, and you do want to win this game, and he's been trending up. So, I'm hoping to see another heavy dose of him, get him and Colston leveling the football quite a bit in this football game. So very good news to see that he is apparently good to go. And I just think this guy, I mean, is it crazy to say he could be your top weapon for the playoffs? I mean, the good news is the Bears will have multiple options. DJ Moore should be over this sickness, so he'll be good. You've got Colston Loveland. Hopefully, if Rome Odunze comes back, I still take the Rome thing a bit with the grain of salt. Like, I want him back. I think he can be a game changer in the playoffs, but I don't know if he's going to, be a dominant force. A, he hasn't played in a while, and B, he's probably not going to be 100%. He did say something pretty interesting I should have mentioned when we were talking about Rome. He said he doesn't think he's going to need surgery. Now, the chatter online and, Twitter doctors speculating if it's a true stress fracture, he's going to need surgery, but, I don't know the specifics, so we'll have that question answered in the offseason. I'm not sure it really matters that much. Even if it's a surgery, he should be back, for the offseason program. We're not worried about that right now, but I did think that was an interesting comment. But as far as Luther Burden goes, this guy, the arrow is pointing straight up. It wouldn't shock me if he had another 100-yard game against the Lions defense that has really been struggling over the last couple of weeks. Okay, we'll talk more Bears injuries, and then we'll get to the Lions injury news here in just a second. But today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. It might be a new year, but it's the same Prize Picks. Daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Whether you're starting a new routine, making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard. But in life and on Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every single night, the action never stops, and Prize Picks lets you take control. How you play Prize Picks is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose the flex play option. And what that means is when you set your, say 3-4 player lineup up to 6 player lineups, if you miss one of them, you can still make money. If you want to go for the bigger payouts, go for the power play, which is an all or nothing strategy. You got to hit on all your picks in your lineup. But if you do, you can make money. Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. They now offer early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, they might send you a notification with an option to cash out early, so you can take advantage of that and a whole lot more. Tons of features, all sports available. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Okay, some more Bears injury news. Just looking at the injury report. The only player ruled out for this game is Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. He is in the concussion protocol. Hopefully get him back for the playoffs. He had actually been kind of a scrappy pickup, pretty decent setting the edge in the run game. So hopefully he's good to go for next weekend. I would imagine he would be, but you never know with concussions. A new addition to the injury report, Jaquan Brisker did not practice on Friday. He has been hit with the illness that's been going around the team for the better part of 2 weeks now. We mentioned Rome, who's questionable. Nick McCloud's been battling the illness since last week. Didn't play in the game last week. So I don't know if there's something more going on there, but he was limited all week. He is questionable. Maybe his cardio got hit pretty hard. I'm not sure. So we'll see. Hopefully he's at least available as a backup option. Ozzy Trapilo is questionable. He's been dealing with a knee and a quad thing all week, and he's been limited all week. So he did not elevate to full. So I do think that's one to monitor. I would imagine he plays. They might have just been managing his practice workload throughout the week, but that is still pretty significant for your left tackle. The good news is if you have to play Theo Benedict, I think you'd be okay there. Obviously, the Lions have Aiden Hutchinson, but probably going to be chipping him anyway because he's really the only major threat that Detroit has on their defensive line, especially with Alim McNeil out, but something to monitor at left tackle. Okay, let's get to Detroit now. 3 big absences: Penei Sewell, Alim McNeil, a little typo on McNeil there, apologies for that, and Alex Anzalone, all out for Detroit. Sewell dealing with an ankle injury. Campbell all week was like, yeah, we're going to try. You don't risk your $30 million right tackle if you have no shot at making the playoffs in Week 18 if he's dealing with an injury. That's a pretty easy decision to shut him down. Alim McNeil, same deal. I'm not surprised by that one. Trenches player. And Alex Anzalone couldn't clear concussion protocol. So 3 notable starters for Detroit. And, obviously the Sewell one's a big one because this is the first game he's ever missed in his career. So he's been very durable, really good player for Detroit. That might have been part of why Campbell was saying, yeah, maybe there's a chance. I'm sure Penei wanted to extend that streak for a trenches player. That's really impressive, but it's just not worth the risk if you're the Lions. So he's not going to be out there. And I got to be honest, guys, with the Lions' interior offensive line struggles this year and Penei Sewell now out, we got to see something from this pass rush. We know it's not great. We know it's not going to be even good, especially in the playoffs. But in a game like this, you should be able to dial up some pressure. And against Cleveland a few weeks ago, we saw the Bears take advantage of, virtually a backup offensive line. The Lions are still going to have 3 or 4 of their starters. But again, that interior has been pretty spotty all year. So that's an area this week you got to take advantage. Maybe get some mojo, some confidence heading into the playoffs if you're Dennis Allen, this defensive line as a whole. All right, we'll wrap it up. Both Amon-Ra St. Brown and Taylor Decker are questionable, but it sounds like both are going to play. Dan Campbell has said all week long that St. Brown wants to play. He's got some incentives, too. If he has a big game, he could be an all-pro, which would make him some extra money. So, him and Ben Johnson, he wants to go up against his former coach. Taylor Decker's been playing through stuff all year. I would imagine he's going to give it a go as well. So keep an eye on that. Technically, they're questionable, but remember, probable isn't a thing anymore. So I do expect them out there. A couple other guys that are out, Trystan Colon and Thomas Harper are both out. Harper, the DB, and Colon, the backup offensive lineman, will not play in this game. A few other questionables. Christian Mahogany is questionable with an illness. I would imagine he's ready by Sunday, but if not, that's another starting offensive lineman now out. Kayode Awosika also dealing with an illness. He's questionable. Then Giovanni, Manu, a couple of depth offensive linemen questionable. He is dealing with a knee issue. So keep an eye on those between now and Sunday. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, drop a score prediction down in the comments. I will have my score prediction on our preview episode, so be on the lookout for that. Bears, Lions, remember, if they win, guaranteed the 2 seed. Their other path is if the Eagles lose or if the Eagles tie to the Commanders. The Bears could also tie this game, but hey, let's take care of business, get the 2 seed, and then bring on Green Bay. We'll see you guys soon. More content to come between now and kickoff. Bear down.